Hello, and welcome to another episode of Influence and Growth Mastery. If you're an entrepreneur or a small business owner and you've not already joined our Facebook group, Influence and Growth Mastery, you want to do so that you can learn from all of the influencers in the group. Today, I am so honored, in my opinion, to have a dynamic social media strategist who is the CEO and founder of Syllable.io and Socialty Pro. He is a service-based business and helps people thrive on social media. I think you're going to enjoy today's episode. I've gotten tremendous amount of ideas watching him on social media. In fact, he's one, when you start watching, you can't stop. I personally think he's a genius. Austin, you are huge on TikTok. I know, probably, I'm not on TikTok, but I hear the rumors. I see some of the posts that get screenshot and shared. But is it around 1.2 million plus followers on TikTok? Is that right?
Well, firstly, thank you so much for having me on, Tonya. So, no, I have about 750,000 followers on TikTok.
Okay.
In total, I've got about 2.7 million across TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Wow. Okay. Well, I knew it was about 851,000 on Facebook. I know you're also on Alignable, LinkedIn, Twitter. Yeah. So you're everywhere. You're omnipresent. And I love that. And I have to tell you, last night, as I was preparing for today, I started watching you, and as I said, I think you're a genius. You are addictive. You start watching, you can't stop. So I loved what I saw. And I just want you to share a little bit about the two businesses, but let's start with Syllable.io, because as I saw your reels, you really reeled me in to opening an account. And then I spent, I can't tell you how long playing on Syllable. So let's talk about that today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for trying it out. So Syllable is a AI-powered marketing tool that helps you streamline video marketing on social media for your business. And so I've been in the social media space for about 18 years. I've been doing social media marketing since MySpace, and I've been doing professional social media marketing, digital marketing, video marketing as a career for the last 9 years. And so over these years, I've worked with hundreds of businesses and tons of different industries. I've really specialized in service-based businesses. And a lot of the common problems that business owners face, startups, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs that are just getting the ball rolling, is they know they need to create content for social media, but they don't know what topics to create. They don't know what to say on the videos. Sometimes they don't like being on camera. They need help staying consistent and accountable. And they don't have the budget to hire an expensive social media marketing agency or even hire an internal staff to do their social media for them. And so that's where the idea for Syllable came to be. Social media has changed my life, Tonya. And so I just want to empower as many business owners, entrepreneurs, or aspiring content creators to give them the tools and the processes so that it can drastically change their lives as well. So what Syllable does is, as soon as you log in, it'll prompt you to enter in your industry or something related to the services that you offer. And what it'll do is it'll show you all of the questions that your customers are searching for online with a lot of data to back it up. So it'll show you content ideas that your customers are actively searching for, so you know exactly where to begin. And then with a click of a button, you can actually generate an outline and a video script around that question. So you don't have to think about what to say or how to make the best video for social media. We'll generate a script for you using artificial intelligence. And then we can actually create a video with a human realistic avatar that looks and sounds like a real person that reads that script So you don't even need to be on camera anymore. And then you can schedule everything. You can really schedule a month's worth of social media content in about 10 to 15 minutes once you get familiar with the tool, and organize everything. So it's all in one social media platform. So you don't have to use a million different tools. You don't have to hire an expensive agency. You can run a successful video marketing plan on social media for your business, cut through the noise, and hit the ground running in minutes instead of weeks, months, hours for 1/100th of the cost of hiring an agency.
Totally amazing. One of the things too that your program offers is the ability to give it the tone, which I thought was phenomenal. I could tell it, I wanted it to be, upbeat. And that was amazing to me because that was one of the things that I chose. And then using the avatar, telling it to speak in a natural language. So many of them that I have tested or even have sound a little bit robotic.
Sure.
And I did not find that to be true with Syllable. I already have my favorite female, and I have her. I have my favorite voice, and I was amazed at how truly natural that it comes across. And then to be able to regenerate if I didn't like the content, as many times as I wanted to. So I just have to tell you, you've done a phenomenal job. But I want to go back and talk about the ability to look at the content that people are searching for. The opportunity to have that ability to me was phenomenal, because I've been toiling around with putting some reels, stories out. And I'm always like, is this really content that somebody wants to hear? And then trying to come up with the right headline to go with that. And you solved that problem for me. So last night, and I had been using ChatGPT to play around with the topics, the topic, the heading, all of the above, to work on the social media strategy that I was going to work on in June. But last night, you validated for me exactly what I needed to know. And so when I put in the keyword and then was able to see how many times that keyword had been searched, I knew that I was on the right track. And then to be able to get my post and then an article. I have not started doing email campaigns yet, but I know that I'm way behind there, Austin. And you, again, helped me to realize that it's not as scary as it needs to be, because as I played around with the article piece of it, that solved that problem for me, to just be able to take that and to be able to use that to go with my post in an email sequence to go with those posts. So, I'm very, very impressed.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you're finding it's so useful. That's exactly what we're going for. There's so much information out there. There's so many tools. You hear so many things that you need to be doing and strategies that you need to be implementing from all of the social media people out there. We really wanted to just make it as simple as possible so that you can save all of this time. You don't have to pay for multiple tools. You can just focus on your expertise, doing what you're passionate about, focusing on your business, and letting our tool do all of that busy work for you so you can focus more on doing what you're supposed to be doing and letting us handle the social media side for you.
Right. So let me ask a question, and this may be a question that the audience may have. And this was something I did not figure out last night. I did schedule one for today. I have not gone out there to take a look at it yet. I haven't had an opportunity, but I will. So when you schedule it in the calendar, does it automatically then post? Can I tell it, I want that post to go to Facebook? I want it to go to LinkedIn. I want it to go to all of those mediums. Is that option available for me today?
Not today, but that is on our roadmap, and that should actually be live within the next month. So depending on when this podcast episode goes live. So right now it's more of a project management tool where you can view the content calendar. You can see the title, the video, the script, all of the information when you want to publish it. And then you can just copy that information and post it on your social media platform of choice. But we're actually integrating this as we speak. The developers are working on this. So yeah, within the month, we'll have that scheduling ability. So you can actually do everything within Syllable, from ideation to scheduling it out on all of your social media platforms.
I cannot wait.
I'll tease for you as well. So we have the avatars built in of random people. We've tried to be as diverse as possible, but we're actually working on solutions to make a digital twin of yourself. So we can essentially clone you, Tonya, and your voice. So it's not just a random spokesperson. It can actually be you, but you don't need to create that video every single time. And this technology is getting so good so fast. I did this for myself. I have a deep fake version, if you will, of myself that has cloned my likeness and has cloned my voice. And I've made a couple videos with it, and people don't know.
I did not know.
Really know me, either have watched a lot of my videos or are friends and family or colleagues that I've known for years because they know the subtleties of my mannerisms and my energy and whatnot. But a lot of people online that are just seeing the content for the first time can't really tell the difference.
Wow.
And if you're still creating content that's helpful for your target audience, that looks like you, that sounds like you, that's in your voice, and sharing that unique perspective, it just makes social media so much easier, faster, and affordable.
Well, you came out with one of the reels and you said, I am fake. And I'm like, what? You said, I am fake. And I'm like, how can I tell you're fake? I watched it over and over and over. I am
really
fake.
good.
It was good. So tell me more. I'm so fascinated. And I don't know if you want to go on into, the Socialty Pro, or, I could just sit here for hours. I'm not even kidding you, and listen to anything that you could share with the audience, because, or I could ask you hundreds of questions, because I'm just so fascinated with what all I saw. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Honestly, I do have a lot of questions, but I saw just so much of what's in your head about all of the technology that you just spill out on social, and how you've grown, and maybe even you want to talk about, where you started and where you are today, because you said, I started with a goal 1 year ago to grow my social media, and I saw where you were and where you are today. And I'm like, I want to be just like him. And I'm like, you make it look so easy. You make it look so easy. I'll tell you what,
Tonya, it took 18 years to be an overnight success on social media.
Yes, I realize that. And I'm sure your confidence level wasn't where it is today. You know, I'm sure that's right.
Yeah.
Because I look at you and I'm like, the confidence that Austin has is phenomenal. And I'm like, I want to be where he is.
Well, I've always been a pretty confident person, but I haven't always had success, of course. And that's just part of everybody's journey. So, maybe it'll be helpful or useful to sort of chronicle my 18-year-long social media journey, if it's helpful or inspiring to anybody. So I stumbled into MySpace when I was 14 years old. Wow. And I sort of gravitated towards a small pocket community on there that were sharing each other's profiles to get more followers. Something about that was attractive to me. Did I want validation as a 14-year-old? Probably. I don't know. Recognition, whatever. A little bit of healthy narcissism. I don't know. That's a whole nother note there. But I got bit by that bug, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the art of growing social media profiles and all that came with it. So after I started to get a lot of followers on MySpace, that turned into revenue streams. I was able to promote local bands and promote T-shirt companies online and do lead gen for email opt-ins, and they'd pay me $1 in email. And so I saw from a very early age how much money could be made from social media. And I sort of have stuck with it ever since. Now, fast forward to about 9 years ago, I got started professionally at an agency, video marketing agency that specialized in the behavioral health space. So drug and alcohol treatment centers, psychologists, therapists, interventionists, and the like. And I really fell in love with that. That was my first sort of instance with video marketing for businesses. And I started as an unpaid intern. Quick thing here, I don't have a college degree. I took an untraditional path in life. So I jumped into that internship, unpaid intern. And say what you will about that. That's become a controversial thing to be an unpaid intern to get the foot in the door. For me, it worked.
Same here.
Everybody follow your own path. I'm not necessarily advocating for it, whatever. I saw the long-term vision, and so it certainly worked out for me. I'm not saying it's going to work out for everybody. Right. And yes, I had a bartending job while I was an unpaid intern. For anybody that's crossing their arms right now and be like, unpaid work, that's terrible. So calm down.
I get it. I have that determination too. Yeah. I'm going to do it without that college degree. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Everybody has their own path, but so I went in a couple months, I went from an unpaid intern to a paid intern, and then went from part-time to full-time at that company. My boss at that company has been a mentor to me, and that led me to ultimately be head of digital marketing at several drug and alcohol treatment centers and mental health behavioral centers as well. And then 4 years ago, I started my own social media marketing agency with my boss. So he's now my business partner. And that's for Socialty Pro, which is a full service video marketing agency. We specialize in vertical video, so TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels. And then 5 months ago, we started Syllable, and he's also my business partner again. So just that 9-year journey from unpaid intern to where we are today. And I started my personal social media journey now about 4 years ago on TikTok. So right around when I started the agency, there was this new, hot, fresh platform out there, TikTok, that everybody was talking about. It was the latest, greatest craze. And I wanted to see if I could use TikTok as a way to generate leads and sales for my agency, Socialty Pro. And after a little trial and error there for a couple months, had that epiphany, buckled down, went all in on talking about services and all of the knowledge that's been in my head for doing social media for 14 years prior to that point. I just started sharing and giving all of my best information away for free. And a funny thing happens when you commit to creating daily content and sharing the most useful information that you have for free. You start to gain traction. People know you because you consistently show up. They like you because you're providing incredible information, takeaway, and they trust you because you're showing the results and you're showing up and you're providing that value. You're answering their questions. And know, like, and trust are the most important things to online marketing and sales in general. And I've more or less stuck with it ever since. TikTok put me on the map. And then I've leveraged that to speak at some of the largest social media stages at conferences all around the country. I'm now an internationally booked professional speaker. And just in the last less than 2 years, having mostly just a large audience on TikTok, I didn't want to just be the TikTok person. I wanted to be the best version of myself that I could be. I knew I was more than just a TikTok person. And so I started to leverage that success and growth to really buckle down and figure out all of the other platforms. And so in the last year and a half or so, I went from about 600,000 followers total across the board on just TikTok to now I have about 2.7 million followers across TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Wow. So amazing. It's so incredible. Well, you know, one of the things that you said about sharing the value, you know, I've learned from my coaches and my mentors, the more you share, the more you build the trust, the more people, you know, are going to be following you. They're going to be looking you up. They're going to be wanting to know more from you. And, you know, as I was, you know, watching you last night and I was looking up to see how many followers you had everywhere and was finishing it up today because I did not look at Alignable last night. And I thought, you know, I wonder if he's on Alignable too.
I am. That's interesting that you bring that up. Nobody brings up Alignable.
I know, but Alignable is that's my network. That's where my people are. And I'm sorry, say that again.
It's a great platform. I love Alignable. I love what they've done.
It is. But there's so many people who don't know about it. Like you say, nobody brings it up. And I have started a networking group on Alignable. And, you know, so this morning when I was thinking about it, I've got to see if Austin's on Alignable. And so anyway, when I was watching you last night, I was like, the value that this guy gives away for free, it's no wonder that you have the following that you have. And so as I mentioned a while ago, you know, I've been working on this big content strategy for myself because I've been saying I'm stepping up my game. I am stepping over the bridge of this fear factor of showing up on video, and I'm just doing it. And because I know that when you do it, the more confidence that comes. Absolutely. And I mean, because I love podcasting, and I was scared to death of podcasting when I first started. And then when I realized it's just having a water cooler conversation with somebody, and I fell in love with it. I thought I could fall in love with doing reels. I could fall in love with, and I don't know why I'm so intimidated by Instagram, but I am, but I'm going to get over it. But I enjoy Facebook. I enjoy LinkedIn, but Alignable is my thing. And I'm networking there all the time. But one of the things that I've noticed as I've started that networking group, that the more value that I give, the more people are asking for it. Yeah. And then the more I turn around and give, the more people are reaching out to me, that people I don't know, which is increasing my business flow, which is exactly what you're talking about. And so I know without a shadow of a doubt that if I pick up my content strategy game, things are going to happen. They can't help but not. And so as I was watching you last night, I thought, this is where he started, and look at him now. He's giving. I don't know how many pages of notes I took last night. I was like, wow, look at this URL that he's sharing. And I would pause you and go look it up, and I would be like, oh, I don't need this one. Oh, I might need this one for a rainy day. But the value that you share, and I was like, it's no wonder you're where you are today because of what you do share. And
well, thank you, and congratulations
to you for that.
Well, and kudos to you for everything that you've done and just having that great mindset and mentality. I think you're spot on. You know, that's one of the biggest mindset shifts and lessons that I've learned is the less that you sell online and the more that you give, the more you'll actually sell.
I agree.
And I hope that sinks in for everybody.
You're right. Yes. The less you sell, the more value you give, the better and bigger, the more return you're going to see.
Yep.
Absolutely. So talk about where you get all of this knowledge. I mean, again, last night I was like, does he just sit and pull up technology URLs all day long?
Pretty much. Yeah. It comes from a genuine curiosity.
How does all of this stuff come to him? And I know you have to remember a lot of it because you are very consistent about talking about the ones that are your favorites.
Yeah. So another good lesson is you have to be, I think, genuinely interested to some degree in what you create content around. Otherwise, you're going to burn yourself out. And so I'm just like, I know I was put on this earth to like do social media marketing. Like I've been doing it since I was 14 years old. I get more and more passionate and interested by the day. So I just love this stuff. And I'm fascinated by artificial intelligence.
I am too.
And I've been just a big fan of science fiction, movies, books, the whole nine yards. I just love sci-fi. And so it's like it's here, in the last 2 years, all of these tools, AI and cloning and all, Chat GPT and all these amazing tools. It's like, it's here, it's arriving. And so I'm energized and fascinated. And so it's easy for me to do the research and then share what I'm discovering in real time. That's another great content strategy for your channel is just be the news source of what you're interested in that's related to your industry. And so I kind of try to do that. So as interesting news drops from Apple just had a big release yesterday about their Vision headset, their augmented reality goggles. And so I posted about that because I found it's topical. It's super interesting to me. And I thought my audience would be sharing. I'd share that. And I follow a lot of creators that share other useful websites and support them because it's also about, supporting other similar creators to yourself and other businesses.
Agreed.
Right. And so, watching their content, engaging and supporting their content, but also learning from their content, testing it out, and then sharing my perspective on that content. And then there's just so many tools that are coming out, and I follow people on every social media platform. And there's great websites like let's see. Futuretools.io is a great one, and Futurepedia.io is another great one as well, that they just constantly will add new AI oriented websites and tools to their website by category and whatnot. And so I go through there and I just test the tools out, or people will send me messages with other useful websites. And it just comes from a genuine curiosity and interest in the space.
Mm-hmm. I'm that same way, Austin. I've said for years, I'm a geek for technology.
Yeah, same.
I am, I'm the type of person who will get a new piece of technology and stay up half of the night until I know how to work the entire thing before I go to bed. And people are like, Tonya, that's just weird. But that's me. I put out in my Facebook group, I have a Facebook group of many influencers, Chris, Phil, Mike, a lot of them, people that are in this group. And I was looking for a video editor the other day. I took a clip from Riverside here, and I wanted to add captions to it. There's lots of video editors out there, but I was looking for one that would add captions. And CapCut, I have found that does that, and there's some others that I've now found that will do that. But I put that question in the Facebook group, and I said, I'm looking for this, who can make some recommendations. And so there were a few people who made some recommendations, and Munch came up, and I thought, I've never heard of that. So I went and looked it up, read the reviews, and I'm a review reader. I'll sit and read reviews for 15 minutes before, I'll go test something out. Yeah. And so I read that, and then Chris posted one. I went and looked his up, and then I thought, you know what? I need to go to YouTube, because I know there's people out there that test them and post their thoughts. So I went out to YouTube and looked for the Munch reviews. And then there was someone who was doing Munch against Momento.fm. So, I watched 2 YouTubes on that. And so I will do my research like that. But I had posted in there to the individual who posted Munch. She said, I don't know anything about it, but somebody had talked about this on another group that I attended the other day. And I said, well, stay tuned. I'll go do your research for you.
Cool.
But that's me. I'm kind of like you in a way that I have to know these things, because when somebody else is looking for it, I have to be able to give them 3 or 4 and then my favorite. And so I just like to be that source of information as well.
Yeah. I love it.
And provide that value. But I'm not anywhere close to where you are, Austin.
We all start somewhere and just keep, it's all about consistency over time.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I'm just in love with what you do, and you've got a whole new follower, because I think I have connected now with every one of your social medias.
Appreciate you.
Yes, well, you're welcome, and I appreciate you. So, any other food for thought, tips, tricks, ideas, or about the 2 businesses that you would like to share with the audience today?
Well, since you brought it up earlier, I think we were it was pre-recording. You had mentioned the mispronouncing words thing, so I'll highlight some quick social media engagement hacks.
Please do.
That you can use to sort of put fuel on the fire and grow your social media following. And now, disclaimer here. So my strategy encourages trolls. Trolls are natural to social media. It's an unfortunate truth. And this is easier said than done. I'm going to share an extreme version or a couple extreme versions of what I do. You don't have to take it as far as I do. I'll give you a couple PG examples as well. But take this as you will, and let your brains fly with ideas.
I love it.
So what I sort of have found over the last couple of years is that it's easier to get negative engagement on your posts than it is to get positive engagement on your posts. What I mean by that, it's easier to get people to disagree with you or assert their egos or point out your flaws than it is to get people to say that they agree with you, that they like that, right? And actually leave a comment. They're much more likely to, leave a thumbs up or a heart on that video and move on if they agree, rather than running to the comments and agreeing. But if you stir an emotional reaction where they strongly disagree with you, or they're grammar Nazis or just trolls and they want to point out a flaw, they're much easier to, it's much easier to get them to comment and engage with your posts. And so the social media platforms don't care if you get positive engagement or negative engagement. They just want more engagement. More engagement means more views, likes, follows, revenue, leads, everything from your content. So why not lean into what is easier to get engagement for? That's the hypothesis. And so if you've ever, if anyone's self-conscious about something about themselves physically, or how you speak, or your level of knowledge or experience or whatever, who cares? You have a unique perspective. You are a unique individual person. Share that with the world. Anybody that is going to leave a negative or hateful comment on your post is coming from a place of their own personal insecurity. And so it's likely, it's never really a personal attack on you. It's more of them just being insecure about something that's going on in their own lives. And remember, these mostly come from people that have no profile picture of themselves. It's username 47,365 million, and they're not actively posting anything online of themselves. So you are putting yourself out there. They're not, and they're jealous that they don't have the courage that you do.
I love
Remember
that.
that. And so some of the things that I do to kind of encourage that is I will mispronounce words on purpose in videos. As an example, I have a video on TikTok that's kind of blowing up right now where I show a website called copycat.com, which shows recipes of famous restaurant menu items. And so I showed that you can get a recipe for Outback's Bloomin' Onion, but I said Outback's Bloomin' Onion. And I, mispronounce it on purpose, but people run to the comments and say onion and like spell it. And they're like, what's an onion? And they'll be like, ONN-YAN. And so, it's just fun. But people will run to the comments to correct me or make fun of me. But what does it do? It fuels the engagement of that post so that I can share that with more people. Because the context, the URL is a helpful website. The information is helpful. It's interesting to people. And if I can get more comments and engagement on that, it's just going to reach and help more people, right? I will, right below the URLs that I share, I will plant little folders that are something like Donald Trump NUD ... So it looks like it says Donald Trump nudes. And oh my goodness, does that trigger people online? Oh, they run to the comments and say, what are you looking up? Is anybody going to talk about this thing?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And so these are all like, it's just kind of my sense of humor. I find it funny. They act as little Easter eggs, which is a wonderful psychological tactic that you can work into your content, because it has two approaches. Like if you continue to do this, it becomes a recurring Easter egg. So your true fans are in on the insider joke, that insider language, and they know something that new viewers don't know. They know that it's a joke. They know it's a thing. And if you can work in insider language, Easter eggs for your audience, inside jokes, it strengthens that bond with your followers, with your engaged, active people, because they get it. and the new people just like fuel that engagement. And so just a couple PG or other examples that maybe you can do if you don't want to take it to that extreme, if you're in a professional industry or a regulated industry or something where you can't do that. You can't mispronounce a word. You can't put a nude folder in plain sight or something like that. We have one client that he buys and sells gold and silver jewelry and all kinds of different things. And so one thing that we did is he got a bag of gold teeth out of people's mouths, a big bag of gold teeth, and you can melt the gold out of that and sell the gold for a lot of money, right? And so what he does is he bare hand grabs the teeth to put it on the table in one shot. And then in a later shot, he licks his fingers and go, this is finger licking good. And it's so gross, but it caused like it's separate shots. He washed his hands and all this stuff. But it caught that video millions of views. That caused people to go, what? Oh, you're touching it with your bare hand. You lick your fingers. That's disgusting. That's gross. Why would you do that? That's so unsanitary. It's the growth of that video. And even more PG example, I speak at a lot of like real estate events. Realtors, real estate agents love my content. And so I had a great conversation with a guy that he has this little stuffed animal called like Wolfie, I think, Woofy. And so like in his videos, he'll just like hide the stuffed animal in the background, and it becomes like a where's Woofy type thing in every video. And anybody can do that. I don't care what industry you're in, how regulated it is. Anybody can do a where's Woofy or where's Spot or whatever, a little thing that's hidden in the background. And you can encourage that in the videos and say, like, leave a comment where you spot Woofy and win a prize or win, I'll highlight you in my next video or something fun like that.
That idea.
Just encourage engagement. Another great example I often bring up to real estate agents is a common strategy or content strategy is they'll do house tours. What $500,000 will get you in Dallas, Texas, for instance, or something like that. And so just a really silly, fun thing you could do is just have somebody on your team dress up in like a Bigfoot costume. And just as you're showing, like, check out this beautiful backyard. And then just in the background, you just have somebody just walking in a Bigfoot costume. Don't even mention it. Just have them walk by. And so what is it's going to cause people to run to the comments and be like, what is that thing? Did anybody else see Bigfoot? Turns out Bigfoot was in Dallas, Texas this whole time, Yeah. So there's play with that. See how you can do recurring inside jokes in your content and bring your audience in. It's just going to increase your engagement and your views will go wild.
That is phenomenal ideas. I mean, I love that. I mean, the one that you did, I mean, so simple. And you were serious, I think, about the Android phone. That blew up. And I was like, I was reading all those comments and I was like, he doesn't really have an Android. And then this was yesterday afternoon. And then I heard you in another one say that you were an Android user. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I am an Android user. Yes. I actually do have an Apple and an Android. So I am Team Bird. The reason for that is I saw somebody do the same post for Apple. And they said, I'm sorry. It was almost exactly the same. I'm sorry I have to be the one to tell you this, but you should get an iPhone. And I was like, oh, because I know this is a controversial topic, right? And so I just took that post, and he's a friend. And I swapped it for Android because I know like Apple has like 90% of phone users in the United States, right? And so just by saying I'm Team Android, I'm going to trigger all the Apple people. So
reading those comments were hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I just was laughing reading them. I was just like, I mean, you can have for the audience I'm just telling you, you can have a day of fun reading Austin's social media on Facebook. I loved it. Yeah,
thank you.
Those were good. There were some others that really caught my eye, and
yeah,
I don't know. I wasted a lot of time yesterday reading your social media, but it was a good time. I will tell you that.
There's another like concept, right? Like if you create content or you create a business for everybody, you're creating it for essentially nobody.
Yeah.
And if you try to appeal to everybody, you try and be as broad as possible, you're really not going to get the traction that you want. It's counterintuitive, but like pick a side and stick with it. And so, you know, the finesse that I've leaned into with those text posts is I often make black and white statements. We live in a non-black and white world.
Right.
We live in a world spectrum, right? But when you make black and white statements on a topic, and even if it's a somewhat controversial topic or a fun topic, you're going to get responses and engagement from both sides. The Apple one is the perfect example. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, or I did another one. You know, I mentioned I had a free unpaid internship, and so I posted that yesterday too. Like, don't be afraid to work for free to get your foot in the door.
Yes, and, I saw that. Mm-hmm.
You know, there's context to that, but sometimes I leave the context out. It's a black and white statement. Mm-hmm. And so you get the people that agree with you, and you get the people that really strongly disagree with you, mm-hmm. that really want you to know why they're right and why they're wrong. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's all in good fun. I try to be as educational and consistent as possible, but that's just it just works into that engagement hack. Like, you know, just lean into human psychology. What encourages people to leave comments and share their thoughts, right, and go all in on that.
And then there's some people that, you know, when they respond with some good value also.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
There was a gentleman who responded, you know, totally agreed, but then said, don't do it for your lifetime.
Yes.
Because you're not going to make any money if you do it for your lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, that's my favorite thing is like, you know, I don't even need to respond to everything. I will actively go in the comments and respond when I have time. But it just creates like sub threads, and people just engage with themselves and share value. And I love that. If I can facilitate value where people are talking amongst themselves and sharing insights, awesome. I love it. I
mean, your Facebook runs almost like a mastermind, you know, like a group, because there's so much engagement in there that so many people are. In fact, I was going to ask you a question about your thoughts. And I know, you know, when someone's trying to grow their social media, you have to get in there and respond yourself.
Yeah.
When someone is commenting, because you want to get that engagement going. But for you, and I see you do respond a lot, but your Facebook runs, like I say, almost like a mastermind because, or a group, because there's so much engagement where people are commenting to each other.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's laughter. There's jokes to some of the comments, and then there is good educational value that come to some of the comments. So,
well, thank you. I've been trying to work hard on crafting that, so I'm glad it comes across that way. Thank you very much. It
definitely does. So, talk about you had a post that, and the only word that's coming to me is the Socrates. Sarah Kratz, and I'm probably not saying that right, but that post stuck out to me. Talk about that one a little bit.
So that's the same thing with the mispronunciation. So there's a website I commonly share, answersocrates.com. It shows you questions people are searching for and then breaks it down into like comparisons and prepositions, questions, etc. And so I'll do the same thing. I'll create a video and I'll be like, check out this website, Answer Socrates. .com.
Yeah.
And so same thing, people, run to the comments. How dare you mispronounce the legendary philosopher's name? And they'll phonetically spell it out, Socrates.
Yeah.
And then some people are like, no, actually it is the correct way to pronunciate. It's a Socrates, and they'll, and it'll just stir up comment strings. It's like, GIF or GIF. How do you pronounce it? Niche or niche?
Tomato.
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a play on that a little bit, but it's the same concept. Like, people love to be correct. Grammar Nazis has been a term since the age of the internet for a reason, right? Like anytime that you misspell or don't add a comma or something, they will run to the comments, right? Well, guess what? Now I'm going to do it on purpose because I know you're going to comment. So,
yeah. Well, I think so often, Austin, people shy away from posting, and I was there because of the negative comments that we thought we might get.
Yeah.
Or we didn't post because maybe we weren't so sure how to pronounce or spell a particular word. But like what you're saying is it's okay to do all of that because it's content and it gets feedback, which is what the social platform is looking for.
Yeah. And, if you're insecure about something, what's the best way to get over that? Get ahead of it.
Do it.
Yeah. If you just put it out there and, bring attention to it, it kills that insecurity. If you are in on the joke, and comedians do this so well. There are the best examples of this. There are so many comedians that have great comedians that have cerebral palsy. Josh Blue, great example. Or there's a comedian on TikTok that I've been seeing. I forget her name, but she doesn't have hands. She just has. I don't know if nubs are the correct terminology there. Don't hate me on that. But she doesn't have hands. And so that becomes the point of the joke. And they're getting ahead of it. But they're bringing the audience in on the laughter to laugh with them from a previous or possible personal insecurity. And so if you can bring that into your content and realize that trolls are just the nature of the internet, who cares? It doesn't, and that's easier said than done. I understand that. Everyone's mental health is important to pay attention to. Everybody handles this stuff differently. But if you can understand that the vast majority of negative comments online are not personal attacks, mostly they come from personal insecurities of the commenter that's too afraid to put themselves out there anyway. Let that empower you because you are doing something that they are not brave enough to do.
Right.
And lean into that. I could say the same thing about, perfectionism. Perfectionism is another
holds us back.
It's a limiting feature where you think you need to have the best information, you need to have the best equipment, you need to look the best. It has to be all of the right environments. Perfectionism is procrastination, and I am team quantity over quality. Say what you will, but quantity leads to quality over time because you're getting in those reps and you're getting better and you're building that confidence over time. So it does not need to be perfect. I say it again, perfectionism is procrastination.
I love that. Yeah. And for some of us that came from the corporate world into entrepreneurship, that was a little bit tough for me, my first year, but I've gotten over that now that I'm 4 years in, but just showing up and getting it done. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Austin, this has been a very fun interview podcast today. I'm telling you, it has been such an honor to have you on my podcast. This will not be the first or the last that we do this. So I'm telling you, this has been quite the pleasure. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate the opportunity to be on, and I hope it was helpful for everybody listening.
Well, I believe that it was and will be a blessing for many, and hopefully their social media will grow. They will stop procrastination and get with it. And if I can help you in any way in the future, definitely let me know. I look forward to using Syllable. I want to say goodbye to the audience. And again, if you've not already joined the Facebook group, Influence and Growth Mastery, go ahead and join that today. You will get much value from all of the influencers in that group. Until the next episode, we will see you soon. Bye.